there's a story that's not being told. The story of Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria. The world has condemned it as the occupied West Bank. Could it be the biblical and historical heartland of Israel? Hear the miraculous stories of true pioneers who have dedicated their lives to the restoration of this land. Discover what's being hidden by mainstream news and media. Experience extraordinary places that few people even know exist. Join us for the Joshua and Caleb Report, stories from the heartland of Israel.
Welcome back to the Joshua and Caleb Report, guys. We're here in the old city of Jerusalem. We've got the old city walls just to our left. Right around the corner is the Temple Mount. Right in front of us is the Mount of Olives. And just to our right down here, and that's where we're taking you today, is the old city, David's city, where David would have built here. We're going to learn a lot more about this city of David. Caleb, who are we meeting today, and what a little bit about her?
AnaRina Heymann. She's an amazing lady. She's a tour guide, but more importantly, she has a passion for what she does. And the truth is, there are so many layers to Jerusalem that's beyond anything we can hardly fathom. But we're going to dive into that today as we try to figure out some of the depths and the history of this amazing place. AnaRina, it's so exciting to be here at the City of David because truthfully, I don't really know a ton of information about this place. Obviously, I've visited Jerusalem quite a bit. We have, walked around the city. But from what you stated to me earlier, I'm just massively intrigued because this place has an amazing history, just connected to the fact like this is literally the heart of the capital, right? Because everybody thinks that the city up there is. But truthfully, though, we're going to get into that. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what brought you here to the City of David.
Okay, so,
and to Israel.
Yeah, right.
I'm Jewish. I think that's the thing that draws everybody here. I was born in South Africa. I grew up there, lived my life, started in the industry, in the entertainment industry. I was working there for 7 years and I became more religious. And I realized, but guys, there's more to this. And I wanted to do more for Israel. So I decided to start working for the Aliyah department, the Jewish agency in South Africa. So for 2 years, I was marketing Aliyah. I was telling people to get on planes, you have to be in Israel, why are you here? And it's a hot spot because, it's a hot chair because you sit there and you go, why am I not there? I'm not making the difference that I should make. So I decided, no, I have to do this. And then, how did I arrive in the City of David? I didn't know about the City of David. A lot of people don't know about the City of David. You come to the old city, you make Aliyah, the first thing that you want to do is you want to go to the hotel, you want to put your hands on the wall there and you want to pray. And then one day we wanted to stroll around a little bit and I saw down here, just outside the gate here, the down gate, that it says, discover the City of David. I phoned my mum, I said, they discovered the City of David. What is the City of David? But that's Jerusalem, so why is it not the old city? And then slowly and but surely I started to put things together and I realized, guys, this is the place. I started to come on tours here and I realized this is it. This is the ancient biblical Jerusalem. And most people, as I said, until 150 years ago, everybody thought that the ancient biblical Jerusalem, that which you read in the Bible, is inside the old city. Because that's the only thing that we knew. And then suddenly a guy called Charles Warren came. He was sent by Queen Victoria. She wanted to know what's going on. And the rest is history. And from there, we came here. The Jewish people came back, and we are standing right now in Zion.
Wow.
In the ancient biblical Jerusalem.
So now that you're here, I know it's always being uncovered, but is there new things happening here? Is this an ancient relic that's all of a sudden been found and it's kind of closed right now? Or is it like a booming thing? It's the Bible coming alive.
It's the Bible coming alive, but we're working with archaeology. Think about archaeology. Little by little, layer by layer we have to go. So it takes time. But all the time she's sharing her treasures with us, her secrets, and we're starting to put the whole story together. Wow. And I'm going to take you up a little bit later that you can see the Bible 360 degrees coming.
So we're going to be able to see the new stuff that's being uncovered and all that.
Yeah, I'm going to show you some new stuff.
Fantastic. All right, let's go check it out.
Let's do it.
We're at the top of the City of David on a beautiful outlook here. AnaRina, can you fill us in? There's so much history surrounding us here. Can you just point out a few things to us here and tell us what we're looking at.
So this is where we can see the Bible 360 degrees, guys. Just behind you, you have the old city with Temple Mount just behind that. That means Mount Moriah, where the binding of Isaac took place, where Jacob had the dream. And what did he see? He saw the ladder with the angels coming down, right? Now, what does that mean? That basically means that this is the place where heaven and earth connects. And that's why the temple has to be built there. And then here on this side, we have Zion, or the ancient biblical Jerusalem, the city itself that was connected to Temple Mount. We also have the Mount of Olives there. And we all know that in Zechariah and Zechariah, it's written, on the day of the Lord, God will stand with his feet on that mountain, and the mountain will split. And the waters from Jerusalem will flow to the Dead Sea on that side.
Right.
Where's the waters of Jerusalem? Right behind us here, the Gihon Spring, that fed Jerusalem for 3,000 years, more even than that.
AnaRina, you mentioned earlier, really briefly, I want to dig a little deeper into it because I think it's one of the biggest really mysteries that people don't really know, and that is that the old city wall, even though that it stands there today, that wasn't, I guess, where it was before. It actually encompassed the old city of David here as well. Is that correct?
Okay, so let's differentiate between what we have here. Right here where we stand, you can see the city of David on this side, and you can see the old city over there. So up till 150 years ago, everybody thought that the ancient biblical Jerusalem, what you read in the Bible, is inside there.
Right.
So the question is, what happened 150 years ago, and where is the city of David? Now, let's try and understand the story of Jerusalem. The Jewish sages teach that Jerusalem has a soul. She speaks to God. And you can see that in Isaiah 49. She says to God, I am completely forgotten. And then God answers her and he says, can a mother forget her nursing children? Even these may forget, but I will never forget you. And in an et ratzon, in the time of favor, I will remember you. So now we have 2,000 years after the destruction. Jerusalem, the ancient biblical Jerusalem, started to disappear from the eye. And suddenly, 150 years ago, Queen Victoria woke up one morning and she wanted to know what's going on in Jerusalem. So she sent Charles Warren to come and investigate. And this is a beautiful story, guys, because here comes Charles Warren. The only thing that he knows is the old city, okay? He gets here in the time of the Ottomans and he wants to get to Temple Mount because that's where everybody wants to get to, right? And the Ottomans stopped him. They said to him, you can't get in. Now, so many times in our lives, we know where we're going, you know what God showed you, you know where you, what you have to reach. And when you get into a tangible reach of that place, boom, God redirects you. And you go, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong, you did everything right. Because in that stage, the ancient city had to be rediscovered. So by accident, he rediscovers the ancient city. That's 150 years ago. 50 years later, in the Jubilee cycle, Allenby basically liberated the old city. 50 years after that, we had the reunification of Jerusalem. And 50 years after that, you guys are standing right here, right now. So the question beckons, what is going to happen? We are gearing up for really exciting times.
Wow. That is phenomenal.
That's crazy.
That's amazing.
I mean, the history of this place, and the thing is, so many people can come to Jerusalem and you're kind of just nestled down in this little lake side of the valley. Nobody even knows about the city of David, but you guys are like doing some amazing stuff here. And the thing is, I get such a energy while I'm standing here, the fact that what's like being uncovered here is really speaking the future of the state of Israel. You know, it's like the Temple Mount is there and all eyes are there, which is amazing, but what's being uncovered here really is building the foundation for what will be there. And that's the thing.
You just said that. The history, we are not just uncovering the history, we are prompting the future into being. And as we are doing the excavations, because the excavations, it says, Hit na'arim me'afar hukumi, shake off your dust, arise, take your rightful place, O Jerusalem. So as she is rising, she's calling back her sons, and she's putting into motion everything that's preempting to what needs to happen there.
Now you're going to show us some of the specific findings.
Let's go.
So it's fascinating to me just to see the slow expansion of the city of David, and I really see it's so fascinating just to walk around and all of a sudden be like, whoa, there's a new excavation happening there, there's a new excavation happening there. So it's like, obviously you're playing a role in that, as you're guiding people and showing them here, but it's fascinating.
So let me go and show you guys. You can literally see the story of the city of David over here.
This Yeah, wow. It's crazy. You know, most people don't realize the layers of Jerusalem. Like, just the unbelievable. Like, this was just, like, I came here, I think my first trip was 12 years ago, and I think this was, like, just a houses or something. Like, I don't remember this being here at all. Like, what was it?
No houses, a parking lot.
Parking lot.
And if you guys look here, you can see the tarmac over there. And for anybody living in Jerusalem coming to the old city and the area around here, they will know that there's no parking. Right. So we wanted to use this as a parking lot. And very important, every time when we want to do something, the Israeli Antiquities Authority come. Right. We love them because what they do are amazing. Everything that is, all the excavations are done through the Israeli Antiquities Authority by the highest standards. So before we wanted to start, they said, guys, we just want to check one thing, and then afterwards you guys can do whatever you want. So they brought in this gadget, and they put it down on the tarmac here, and it sort of x-rayed through the layers. They come back with smiles this big, and they say, guys, good news and a little bit of bad news. The good news is you are sitting on 10 times civilizations here that we're going to have to excavate. Bad news is the parking lot is not going to really happen very soon. And this is what you see here. We went through a lot of civilizations here, and we kept of everything something. Why? Because in preserving history and Ecclesiastes, it says what is was, what will be was, and God seeks the pursuit. So this tells us the cycles in which we will move again into. So you can see we've got the Byzantine time, we've got the Roman layers here, we've got the story of Hanukkah with the Greeks right over here. And then when you go down with those stairs, that's where you hit rock bottom First Temple period. So you can see the story of Jerusalem set in stone in front of you.
Do you think Jeremiah may have seen these people's faces down here that are uncovering this when he said they would rebuild the ancient ruins?
I think most definitely he saw that the future, because he said, I will buy a deed, I will buy land, because again the people will return. And 2,000 years, you can see what 2,000 years did. Just look at the layer, just look where the street is here, and how far she sunk down, how far she said, you forgot me. How am I ever going to get out of this? And then, guys, in 25 years, 30 years, this is uncovered. Because if God says he's going to move, he moves.
So, you always got to have a palace in Jerusalem, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. So that's where we're going now, right? To go see David HaMelech.
I'm going to have to teach you guys how to do this. Melech.
Melech. Okay, sorry.
Melech.
Melech.
Hummus. I'm sure that you guys can say hummus, right?
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Coming back.
Right, it's so fascinating for me to walk and see all this archaeology and, look at these, different, rock walls and just the history of the places and stuff. But why do you feel like that archaeology plays any role in the future of a country? It may sound like a stupid question to you, but to me as a young guy, it's like, hey, let's get away from all the, let's just build this city and make it the beautiful and the best city it could ever be. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so firstly, if I come to the city of David, it tells me in the Bible, the city will be built on its foundation and the palace in its proper place. Now, we just found the palace 10 years ago, more or less. How can you build something on something if you didn't know where it was? We had to find that. And also, as we said, in Ecclesiastes, it says, what is was, what will be was, and God seeks the pursuit. So I have to learn how God works because he works in cycles. And I have to learn from history to know how to align myself with the future. So if you're going to run blindly into the future, you're not going to know what to do. And the most important thing is in the name of God, the Yud Kei Vav Kei name. The most important part of that name is the present. And if you run ahead of him, you create, as we say in Israel, a balagan. You start to create things that are out of his will because you run ahead of him. For you to understand the future, you have to sit into the present. But through the present, we are now uncovering history so that we can know how to preempt and what will be the preempt for the times coming. But also, one of the most important things that God says to the Jewish people, you will remember. You will remember. Because as you remember, you take your power from, and your koach, your strength, comes from what he did, so that you know that he will carry you into the future. Yeah. And standing here, I can see that his promise came to life, right? Yeah. If you didn't see this, you wouldn't have been able to know that God is doing what he promised. So that's why archaeology is so important. We have been given the city of David. We have been given back the ancient biblical Jerusalem, the heart. We have to kickstart the heart, because we give him then the room to do what he has to do. And that's why the city of David preempts everything else that needs to happen.
That's so fascinating. You know, the funny thing is you're saying here, and it might be kind of a funny thought, but it's kind of like this, it's kind of like pulsing in my brain right now. If you're truthfully claiming, which I see that there's some evidence here, obviously this was King David's palace. Do you feel like that the Mashiach's palace is going to be built right back here again? Like this is going to be the palace for the king in the New Jerusalem, right back on David's former palace? I mean, that's like an epic thought to think that we're like in the middle of where the king's palace will be.
I was thinking, is he going to rule from the UK, from London, from the Queen's throne? Is he going to rule from Israel, from the Knesset? Where is he going to rule from? We have to come back to the origin. We have to come back to the place where it all began. And that's why I'm the luckiest girl in the world, because right now I'm standing in the place where things will happen again. This is it. This is the nucleus of the future.
Guys, there's so much content here in the city of David. We have so much to tell here. We're going to break this up into 2 episodes, so don't go anywhere. Be looking forward to the next episode. AnaRina Heymann has tons more to share. So be looking forward to the next episode, where we're going to continue here in the city of David.